Most buyers don't regret the house they bought. They regret how it feels to pay for it every single month. And almost every time, it comes back to one budget mistake they didn't even realize they were making. If you're thinking about buying a home in Milwaukee, this is something you really want to understand before you fall in love with the house. What's up, everyone? I'm John Rosick with the Provision Properties core team at eXp Realty. I help people buy and sell homes here in the Milwaukee area. And today I want to talk about budgeting for a home in a way that actually makes sense in real life, not just on paper, because I see this mistake all the time. Let's jump in. Here's the mistake. Buyers shop based on the maximum number they're approved for, not the monthly payment they're comfortable living with. Those two things are very different, and no one really explains that up front. So naturally, buyers think, well, the lender said I can afford this, so I guess I should be fine. Fast forward 6 months, the house is great, the neighborhood is great, but the payment feels tight. Trips feel harder to justify, saving slows down, and suddenly the house feels a little heavier than it should. Not because they bought the wrong house, but because they bought at the wrong comfort level. This happens because buying power gets talked about like it's just one number, purchase price. But buying power is really about how your life feels after you move in, not what you can technically qualify for. And this is where a lot of buyers get tripped up, especially in Milwaukee. Milwaukee's full of character homes, older homes, different layouts, different systems, different costs. That's part of the charm. But it also means two houses at the same price can feel wildly different financially. Same price, same interest rate, very different monthly reality. Older homes can mean higher heating costs, different insurance costs, more maintenance earlier on. Condos add a whole nother layer. HOA dues, special assessments, utilities are handled a little bit differently. None of this is bad, but it all affects how comfortable a payment actually is. And most online calculators completely ignore this stuff. So let's talk about online mortgage calculators for a second. They're not evil, but they are optimistic. They assume perfect taxes, perfect insurance, no HOA, no surprises, no real world nuance. Basically, they assume your house lives in a spreadsheet. And Milwaukee homes do not live in spreadsheets. They live in winter, they live in basements, they live in older infrastructure. And if you rely too heavily on an online calculator, you're only seeing part of the picture. It's kind of like checking the weather by looking out the window at noon in July and assuming January will feel the same. Now, this is the mindset shift I want buyers to make. Stop asking, what's the highest price I can afford? And start asking, what monthly payment feels comfortable for my life? Because the goal isn't to win the approval amount. The goal is to enjoy your life after you buy the house. You want room to breathe, room for saving, travel, kids, golf, whatever matters to you. And when buyers start with comfort instead of max approval, something interesting happens. They feel calmer during the search, they negotiate better, and they regret less. I've worked with plenty of buyers who could technically go higher, but they chose not to. And every single time they say the same thing after closing. I'm so glad we didn't stretch. They still love their house, they still got what they needed, but they also kept their lifestyle intact. That's the win. And to be clear, that doesn't mean stretching is always wrong. Sometimes it makes sense if the payment still feels comfortable, the home checks those long-term boxes, and you're confident in your income stability. The problem isn't stretching. The problem is stretching without understanding the full picture. That's where regret sneaks in. So if you're thinking about buying in Milwaukee, here's what I want you to do. Before you fall in love with the house, before you tour 10 places, and before you start comparing finishes, Figure out your comfort zone, not your max, your comfort, and then build the search around that. That's how buying feels exciting instead of stressful. And that's how you enjoy a home instead of just owning it. If you want help thinking through what the comfort zone looks like in today's market for you, I'm happy to help. No pressure, no sales pitch, just a real conversation about what makes the most sense for you. And I'll tell you right now, if you're watching this before you start touring homes, you're already ahead of most buyers. Thanks for watching, and make sure whatever move you make next, it's a smart one. See you next week.